Ransomware protection. That's what we're going to go over today. Let's protect you from ransomware on Windows because ransomware is literally the stuff of nightmares. It's the thing I worry the most about when it comes to becoming a system admin. It's things that you should always be cognizant of. So let's cover it. I'm going to cover it in 4 different ways on the desktop. First, updates. Second, using controlled folders to make sure programs can't access certain parts of your computer. So you can put all your important documents that you don't want ever changed by an actual program. And then 3, backups. And then 4, well, maybe you don't need to use Windows. Use something else, whether that's Mac or Linux. We can go into that as well. And then let's say all this fails and you get ransomware. What do you do? I'm also going to cover that. So with all that said, let's get on the desktop, not waste any time, and get this done. All right, let's get down to it. First up, let's configure our updates. Now, this only applies to Windows 10 Pro and above, but we'll go right-click, run, or just Windows key and R for the run prompt. We'll go gpedit.msc. From here, we can go into administrative templates, and from there, we'll just go down into Windows components, Windows Update, and let me get this a little bit more seeable. Windows Update, and then there's a subfolder in Windows Update called Windows Update for Business. There's 2 things you need to configure: preview builds and feature updates, and quality updates. I do this pretty much on every single system I ever set up, whether it's part of a domain or not. For business, obviously, this is just set up automatically, but for home users, I'll go in here and do this. I set enabled semi-annual channel. If you look, by default, it sets like preview build or release preview, and these are horrible options. You're basically Microsoft guinea pig. At least semi-annual channel. If you want to run like an old version, you can. I like to just stick with semi-annual channel and then just set this to 365 just to make sure you're never on the bleeding edge for feature updates. This is not regular updates. This actually just kind of makes things more stable, so you're not on the newest, latest, and worst version of Windows. So with that done, quality updates is next. These are the important ones. These are the security updates that help prevent ransomware viruses. I always enable these, and then I put a lag time of 4 days. Now you say, well, why would you wait 4 days to install a security update? Well, by definition, Microsoft usually always does Tuesdays for their patch day. 4 days usually delays it till the weekend. So in a business, it would always fire off on the weekend and then install it then. I always recommend at least 3 days at a bare minimum because there's a lot of patches that Microsoft puts out that end up breaking systems and things of that nature. So you always want to put at least a couple days so the pawns can go before you and get slaughtered and go, oh, hey, that's a bad patch, and they'll pull it back before the weekend hits. So usually doing this, you always get a good update. So this is a good way of fixing Windows Update so you don't have to disable it, because disabling it makes you very vulnerable, and this is a good way to just configure your updates. So definitely do this unless you're a home user, and then, well, sorry about you. You're gonna be the pawn. So with that done, next up is gonna be Windows Defender. So we'll go ahead and open up Windows Security, Virus and Threat Protection, and then down where it says Manage Ransomware Protection. This controlled folder access, make sure it's on, and then say Protected Folders. Make sure your documents or anywhere you're keeping really vital data is put in here. This basically makes it to where programs can't change the files in that folder. So obviously don't do it with like a gaming folder or a saves folder. But definitely do it for, like, let's say you're storing financial documents or stuff for work. Use protected folders. I mean, definitely worth doing. Just say add protected folder and say, hey, you know what? One I always probably recommend doing is Dropbox or OneDrive. Those are just kind of like no-brainers. So I would probably select OneDrive, toss it in here. That way a virus can never modify my OneDrive or whatever it might be. Just always be using protected folders for those really important files. And that way, if a virus does infect your computer, this helps at least stave off some of the folders on here. All right, next up is backups. Backups is a really important one. There's a couple different ways of doing this. Personally, I don't use Windows that much for backups. And if I am doing backups, typically I'll be using like a Synology client or something like that. For a small business like this, maybe whatever you have local, have something backing up, you can use a whole host of different backup solutions. There's built-in ones for Windows, which I can go ahead and show you. We go to backup settings under system settings. So there's an option under backup in the system settings here. You could add a secondary drive for file history. Basically what this does is it copies all your files that change over to here, so you have a file history of things. So if you have 2 disks in your PC, this is a viable solution. It's not great. I don't particularly like it, but if you're not going to do anything, I mean, something's better than nothing. Personally, I would do at least and store your documents in a OneDrive or a Dropbox. This basically gives you some kind of cloud backup to where you can restore those versions. For businesses, I usually use like Backblaze. You can store terabytes of data for literally a couple bucks. So here's the actual Backblaze one. You can try it free. Pricing, let me just go ahead and do it. $60 a year, pretty much unlimited data. So I recommend this. This is the one I would use no matter what. Just great. All around, just fantastic. Highly recommend it. Oh, look, it's recommended by The Verge. Anywho, it is still very good. I love it. So this is what I use to back up all businesses and things just because it's the cheapest out on the market. Now, the final one is just not use Windows. You know, use Linux. That's an option. It's what I'm all about. So if you go to youtube.com/c/Chris Titus Tech, you can actually get into my main channel. You can do searches for specific things. Let's say you want to learn something about Grub or whatever it might be that you want to learn in Linux or Windows. You can do that, but really the thing that you want is the Windows playlist. I have a specific first-time Linux install to Windows playlist. If you go to full playlist, you can see all the different ones from the install, the customization, installing programs, setting up gaming, you name it. I got that just real initial one in here, and then at the very end, I kind of did a live stream. So you can see all of it done live, so you can see any mistakes I might make when I do a first-time Linux install. But regardless, this is just your basic install for Windows users to really help you kind of get your feet wet. Now, if you go to idransomware.malhunterteam.com, if you do get infected, this is the site to come to. They've a fantastic team put this together. Basically, ransom note, you go browse, you select your encrypted file that the ransomware actually put on here, and then upload it, see what it is, decrypt it. Now, before doing the decryption, I obviously recommend removing all viruses. The ransomware virus is actually pretty easy to clean, but if it's already encrypted files, it will not fix that. But I highly recommend check out the Tron script. Link is in the description below if you are infected. Remove the virus first, and then come to ID Ransomware to actually see if you can decrypt your files. If you can't decrypt your files, go to your backups. Just like why I said set up backups, restore from the backups, because that is your next line of defense. If you can't decrypt it and you don't have good backups, the next order of business would be either pay the ransom or kiss your files goodbye and just start from scratch. So that is ransomware in a nutshell. That's how you fix the ransomware. But hopefully this won't happen, because now you'll use these steps. You'll be protected. Whichever ones work for you, use them. Utilize these because they're really important, as ransomware is extremely scary. And that was Ransomware Protection. I really hope this helps you out, as it's something that I am always worried about. It's something you always need to pay attention to. Never, ever think you're safe from ransomware, especially when it comes to Windows machines. A big little short history of ransomware here. In 2017, NSA had tools specifically designed for backdoor entry into Windows-based systems. These backdoors allowed untethered access, meaning they could just get in no matter what was going on with the system itself and do all kinds of things. And basically these tools were leaked to the net. Someone took these tools, modified them with the encryption that exists in ransomware, and then made it to where they could blackmail people for the virus. So that's where ransomware viruses come from. That's why they're so scary, because even when you remove the virus itself, the actual encrypted files remain, and if you can't unencrypt these files, you are literally just up against a wall. What do you do? Obviously, I showed the method with ID Ransomware of uploading some of these encrypted files, seeing if you can decrypt them. If you can't decrypt them, From there, obviously, go to your backups. If backups are not there or you don't have a version that isn't encrypted, well, then you have the final option of actually paying them. And some people have resorted to this because they didn't have backups and it was unencryptable. And there's nothing really you can do. At this point, you either just write the data off and then go from there, or roll the dice. Pay the money. Hopefully you get your files. However, there's instances of this working and there's instances of them just taking the money. So it can go either way on this. I don't recommend obviously paying if you can, unless it's like your entire business at stake and you're going to be completely ruined if you don't get these files back. I don't think it's worth the risk, honestly. That's just me. Obviously, I have backups everywhere, and I do cloud sync backups to where I have versions of everything on a nightly basis across any business I manage. I make sure I have this disaster scenario. Yes, it might be a little cumbersome pulling down all these files, but it would be doable, and I wouldn't need to pay this ransom. I highly recommend this for everybody, and I always recommend more than one backup method, as backups are something you just absolutely need a lot of. Can't reinforce that enough, but that's it for today's video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. I'm always curious to see what you guys think. Have you been hit with ransomware before? It's a scary thing. It happened to me at an old job where I came in and had to save a business, and luckily that computer had just been refurbished or basically swapped out, and I was able to pull an old hard drive out of another machine. That person was saving a lot of stuff locally that ended up getting encrypted, which was a big no-no. I definitely slapped their hand a bit and said, don't do that anymore. Save it on the actual server so it would go out to the cloud. Luckily, I was able to repair that, but that was my only instance of running into ransomware, but scary nonetheless, as it has taken down entire businesses, and it's actually taken down entire governments for a little bit as far as mass infection goes. So don't play around with this stuff. It is spooky, it is scary, and it will never, ever leave us, especially for you Windows users out there. If you're using Windows, be worried, but always take these protection methods, because with them, at least you'll be safeguarded in case something does happen. So with all that, a big shout out to all my patrons. Without you, I couldn't make videos like this one, and I'll see you in the next one.